On June 4th, 2021, 3 Locust Grove police officers in Henry County approached YouTuber Hellcat Infamous, suspecting him of loitering and potential involvement in drug-related activities at a gas station. Is the YouTuber related to any drug-related activity? Let's watch the video further and see what happens.
Shows up with a 54 mil, a quick trip, white Dodge Charger.
Deputy Nicole Colleen Pitts led her colleagues to approach and interrogate the YouTuber about his activities. The other 2 officials made their way to the spot after being called there by the lady officer.
Are you hanging out? Are you meeting somebody? Are you waiting on somebody? Are you lost?
I live on.
So, the reason I'm asking, we've been here how long? Probably 20 minutes?
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah,
You hadn't got any gas. You hadn't gone in and got any food.
No.
You parked at a gas pump. And I know the tank's not on the side. It's on the other side, right?
No, I don't even take this to the gas.
So, what are you doing?
The second officer entered the frame and asked the YouTuber whether he was hanging out with friends or doing something else. Subtly inquiring as to why he was there, the man responded that he resides there in response to the question, where the officer stated that they had a good reason to suspect criminal activity in the area due to its long-standing history of such activity.
Just chilling. I don't want to go home. I can't sit in the parking lot. Because I live out here.
Where are you living? You have some ID? Let me see your ID. Or is it at the bar?
Some people, what's the problem?
Acting all confused, the cop asked the guy again, what exactly is he doing at the gas station? Clueless Hellcat asked whether he's doing something wrong while staying up there, as he was just chilling and grabbing something to eat, which is not wrong.
You can make it super difficult, but you do know.
I'm just wondering why y'all. Well, I've literally been on the phone this whole.
I know.
Go and get your ID.
The YouTuber's identification was requested by the police, and the man complains and asked why she is doing so. The officer then advised the young man not to make matters any more difficult than they already were for themselves. The important thing to note here is, according to the 4th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, a police officer is allowed to stop a suspect on the street and frisk him or her without probable cause to arrest if the officer has a reasonable suspicion that the person has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime, and has a reasonable belief that the person may be armed. Well, in this case, the authorities assert that the YouTuber in question was loitering around the gas station and that the surrounding area was notorious for narcotics trafficking and other forms of criminal activity.
Get your ID, and then while you give us your ID, she can speak with you. But you need to identify yourself, so go and get your ID.
So right now, what it falls under is loitering. Loitering? Yes.
Yes.
Because, if you were, getting gas, waiting on somebody, if you were doing anything other than just kind of, hanging out, it wouldn't be an issue.
Well, I'm sitting on the phone.
We know.
This area is known for narcotic activity. It's known for criminal activity.
The other officer barged in and asked for the man's ID and said that he is needed to be identified, where the lady officer comes and talks about why he's waiting there so long, as the area is quite popular for narcotics activity, and that's why they're asking for the man's identification. The man claimed he lives out here, where the cop says he believed him but still asked for the ID.
Because, everybody...
I've never been
listen,
I know a lot of detectives.
If you notice the folks come, they get their gas and they go.
Yeah, but
So, the state's definition of loitering is doing something not like the norm. Hanging out at the gas pump, not like the norm.
The man gave his ID card for identification. After verifying the YouTuber's ID and discovering no prior criminal records, the officers continued their questioning before ultimately departing without filing any charges. This sequence of events raises questions about the legitimacy of their initial suspicion and the necessity of their prolonged interrogation. The absence of criminal records suggests a lack of reasonable grounds for their continued investigation.
That would add to it, but you didn't, so it makes it a little lot better. You get what I'm saying?
But I literally come here all the time. I live here. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
but you
fine.
can't just if you're not doing any business, if you're not getting gas, you're not
Well, I
going
was
to get
actually
food.
finna go in there. I just had a phone conversation.
Well, that's cool. But now that we've had this communication, it's what they call dispelling the alarm. Now that we're able to figure out, okay, this guy doesn't have any issues or anything like that.
Now, the lady cop is trying to make the man understand that she came to question due to suspicion, but the man didn't run away after seeing the cop, and that's a green flag that he didn't do anything, to which the man got furious and asked, why would he even run when he's done nothing wrong? To which she replied that it looked better. She was trying to explain why she came in the first place, but her explanation was kind of dumb and baseless. Where the other cop comes in and tried to save the conversation but failed miserably, as the YouTuber claims that he lives nearby and there's nothing wrong with calling on a gas station and talking for a half hour. To which the cop replied that now that we are dispelling the alarm as they had the conversation with the YouTuber and nothing is wrong here.
Then we could be by our merry way. But we never met you a day in our life. I've never met you.
I've never got
She's
that.
never met you. He's never met you. So we're just doing our jobs. What we're getting paid to do.
The cops have stated they're merely performing the duties for which they are paid, and the lady cop was talking on her walkie-talkie.
You got to, and then head on home, alright?
Yeah, but
Second
that's
thing,
kind of
you're-
crazy.
Look, it's
Like I've never.
Go look up loitering in Georgia
No,
code section.
my father's a retired sheriff.
Okay.
I
Well,
know, but I've never.
like I said, this area is known for drug transactions. We're gonna make sure none of that's occurring here tonight. So
The lady cop told the YouTuber to get home, where the YouTuber replied and called her crazy, where the male cop jumps into the conversation and told to look up loitering in Georgia, where it turned out that the YouTuber's father is a retired sheriff, to which the male cop said that the area is known for drug transactions, and they're just making sure none of that's occurring there.
Well, no, I was at Super Dollar. I did track nets. I don't do no drug activity.
and like you
Right.
said earlier, the reason we got out with you and asked you and didn't just like immediately throw you in handcuffs was called dispelling the alarm. That's all that happened. So, but do these change? Like, can you make them just one regular color?
I could turn them off with a switch.
Okay, so the blue lights, you can't have blue lights.
The female officer stated there's a party going on in the area and they're concerned that there will be drugs involved. Because of this, they approached the YouTuber and asked him about it. However, the situation is completely different than what the officer stated, as there are many people in the gas station, but the police only had suspicions about the YouTuber, possibly because of his race. And they requested the YouTuber to change the color of his car's light, questioning why the blue color light is on rather than the standard one.
then you definitely should. Then you should definitely understand our job. Then you should. Then you should understand. If you say all these things, and if you're in the profession, you would understand why we're doing our
that's
job.
why I had no problem.
Right. And we definitely appreciate the cooperation. No, it's not random. We sat there for a while.
The YouTuber tried to explain his point of view, stating that his father's a retired sheriff and he won't do things like that, to which the cop tried to explain himself, stating that the YouTuber should understand where the police are coming from. And then the cop stated they appreciate the cooperation. The policeman tried to explain they saw a guy coming towards the YouTuber and thought it could be drug-related, that's why they intervened, but the YouTuber replied the car he's driving. The guy complimented the car and nothing else.
Affairs going on. Now we're gonna be about our way. If we thought something nefarious was going on, then we'd be going a whole different direction. You understand? But we have to dispel alarm, make sure nothing nefarious is going on. You understand that?
The officers state that they'll be on their way after conversing with the YouTuber. They explained that if they had suspected any suspicious or illegal activities, their approach would have been different. However, their intention was to dispel any concerns and ensure that no nefarious actions were taking place. They encouraged the YouTuber to familiarize themselves with the relevant code section, specifically mentioning loitering, spelled it out, and recommended looking it up for further information.
Look it up.
Deputy Nicole Pitts, who was one of the cops that was involved in the event, was made to face the consequences of her actions by having her employment with the Locust Grove Police Department terminated. The particular factors that led to her being fired are being kept a secret for time being. During the course of a phone call, Chief of Police Derek Austin verified the accuracy of this information. A succession of events took place in silence, revealing a network of deceit and criminality. Charlene, a member of the prison staff, started it all when she had an affair with an inmate. Charlene lost her job and could face legal consequences because federal law prohibits any sexual interactions between prison employees and inmates. A zero-tolerance policy against sexual assault in prisons was instituted after this occurrence.
Called our 911, called her back, and she said then that he had a gun. They were asking them to leave. So I don't know anything since then.
Okay. So nobody's here has been injured.
No, that's what I told him when I called. He told me that he doesn't know her.
At the same time, a frightening event took place in a residence. Authorities entered the building and found evidence of a fight in various locations. They found Kelly's motionless body in the kitchen, surrounded by evidence suggesting she had been murdered. The police had a quick and easy time zeroing in on William as their main suspect.
Which house?
This house right here.
That's just
Has anybody confirmed?
We have not confirmed. We just pulled up, just got what she stated.
All right. Has anybody been in?
No, we just pulled up.
He's saying you're saying he called you.
Yeah.
Can we get anybody to the door? Where is he at?
We're having a approach.
All right, but I want to make sure he's not in here with a gun.
Kelly was a paramedic in Columbus, Georgia, who often went out of her way to help those around her. Those that knew her admired her, but Kelly kept a secret from everyone.
His formidable threat was due in no small part to his vast experience in SWAT and police tactics. But then, something out of the ordinary happened. The police were notified of William's car accident by phone call. They hurried to the hospital and quickly located their bleeding and battered suspect there. After William was released, the official investigation began in an interrogation room. Violation of office and possible complicity in Kelly's death were among the charges that loomed. William was asked about two women, Becky and Kelly, during the interview.
The purpose of this interview is just to talk to you about the case that we're working on, former Sergeant Talley. I knew you had some type of relationship with him, whether it was a personal relationship, whether it was a friendship, or just as a co-worker. But we'll let you answer those questions. So we'll just start with just some brief questions about your knowledge about former Sergeant Talley. How long have you known him?
Oh man, ever since he's been here, several years.
Okay. Do you have any idea about how long he's been working here at the police department?
I really don't. I mean, off the top of my head, I would imagine over 10 years. I would think, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years.
Okay.
I really don't know.
How long have you been working here?
28 years.
Kelly was his lover, but it later came out that William was married to another lady named Rebecca Talley. William's expression changed from one of bewilderment to one of evident anguish, yet his veracity remained in doubt. William's feelings bubbled to the surface as the investigator continued to pry. His anger seemed genuine to some extent, but there was also the sense that he was just using it as a ploy to shift blame away from himself and vent his discontent with his current situation. The tense interview ended when William finally got a lawyer. William Halley knew that the ins and outs of the police department, but he was still given a life sentence since the evidence against him was so strong.
Became a team leader, because at that point we'd always, if we had a mission, I'd always get with him and we would talk about the mission and get a game plan together, do our ops plan and work that way.
It was a shock to all of us. Really. I understand. It's a shock all the way around, man. Yeah, both sides. Both sides, believe me. Mm-hmm. It's like, how do you come to this place? I mean, and then trying to...
We're all human, man. And see all that crap on Facebook and trying to blame the police. This ain't got nothing to do with police. Ain't got nothing to do with anything. It's two human beings.
That's right.
Some people snap sometimes, no matter what their career is.
There you go.
They'll be flipping burgers, they're gonna snap the same way if you a cop, a judge, or whatever. It got nothing to do with your career.
I agree.
The only lead that the police had was that he left the crime scene in Kelly's vehicle. They knew he had not only received police training, but SWAT as well, so he would be difficult to find.
The complexity and intensity of feelings involved in this case exemplified the determination of law enforcement to bring about justice. The case of Matthew Boynton is a disturbing tale of duplicity, intrigue, and suspected police misconduct. Unlike most police investigations, this one took an unexpected route that left everyone perplexed.
Arrested without incident and sent to the hospital.
12. Okay.
Sally, you know me, right, bud?
We're taking him no matter what, right?
With the bandit kid, remember? All right, brother. We're gonna take care of you now.
You ready for the handcuffs?
After William was cleared at the hospital, he was put into an interrogation room.
Hey man, want some water? Sure. A cup of coffee? You sure? Well, we got a bottle of water here just in case you need it. Are you gonna be able to sit up for us? Okay. Back hurting you?
On April 15, 2016, officers discovered Jessica Boynton concealed in a closet with a gunshot wound to her head and a police-issued pistol in her hand. The county sheriff proclaimed her dead at the scene, but a medical evaluation at the hospital showed a completely different scenario. There were no gunshot wounds or bullets, only evidence of a blunt force attack to the back of her skull. Jessica's condition, while critical, did not support the sheriff's determination.
You know how long you been in the hospital? Days. Days. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm here to tell you I'm not your judge, man, okay? I'm not your judge. But we brought you over here. Hopefully we can get a better understanding of maybe what happened on Saturday, Sunday. And hopefully we'll get your side of that, and you can kind of help shed some light on what happened out there, okay? And maybe some of the events that might have led up to this. All right. But before we do that, we got all your information written down here on advice for rights form. You got a bachelor's degree, right? All right. And so we're going to advise you of your rights, and then we'll kind of go from there, okay?
Matthew Boynton, a key figure in this confusing case, emerged as a leading suspect. He stated he received a text message from Jessica indicating she was thinking about suicide. He contacted the police after hearing 2 gunshots from their residence. During the police interview, however, Matthew's discrepancies became apparent. When questioned about a bag containing Jessica's personal stuff, his dishonest actions became clear. Matthew's long and rambling response to a basic question concerning the bag indicated to the police that he was not telling the truth. The detectives had suspected him of hiding something before, but now they were convinced. This bag, which contained Jessica's clothes and was discovered in Matthew's possession, proved that he had lied under oath.
Read this bottom portion, and if you're able to, when I finish up, if you would just initial on these lines saying you understand, if you're able to, and then sign it for me. The bottom portion is a waiver of rights. Says, I have read or have had read to me the above rights, and I understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions without having a lawyer present at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me.
Can I ask what my charges are?
Yeah, right now you're charged with murder. You're charged with violation of oath of office, and you're charged with possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime.
The bag theft may seem little, but exposed Matthew's credibility issue. Most of his information may be false if he lied about that. He resigned from the police after confessing to taking the bag and lying under oath. The assault on Jessica and that sad night went unresolved, darkening the case. Matthew was never charged with these major crimes, creating police corruption accusations. The county sheriff, his grandfather, had initially declared Jessica dead at the scene, raising his suspicions. The head trauma erased Jessica's memory, therefore the night's events are unknown. This story is a disturbing reminder of power abuse and unsolved questions.
Well, I can tell you who, if we can get started there. And it is Kelly. No! Don't do that. No! No! Tally, come on. Tally. Bill. Billy.
A small, poorly lit interrogation room was tense. Stephanie Eileen Lazarus, a former top detective, sat across from two others, anxious. This strange and unnerving dialogue took place in a chilly, calculated interrogation room. The detectives, aware of Stephanie's background, had deceived her into working on a confidential investigation. They promised her the interrogation room was the safest location to talk. Stephanie, plainly uneasy, fidgeted and looked around.
Oh, Phil, let me get the nasties in here. Bill. Bill, no. Stop, Bill. Relax. Bill, stop. Relax.
I'm not here to judge, man. Just stop. Just stop.
Here, you want some water? I think you need to have a sip of water. Relax.
Stop. It's all unnecessary, Bill. If you don't want to talk to us, that's fine, but let's not do this, okay? Okay? Let's not do this, okay?
The 1986 murder of Sherry Rasmussen went unsolved for 23 years. Shot 3 times, Sherry was found dead at home. It was initially assumed to be a bungled burglary, but the inquiry failed. Due to her intricate love triangle with Sherry and John Rutten, Stephanie was a potential candidate based on fresh DNA evidence. The investigators approached John warily, sensing Stephanie's uneasiness. Stephanie's irritation was clear. Her breathing accelerated and she got defensive. She strongly denied murdering Sherry and demanded to know if she was suspected.
Billy, you don't want to talk to us? Are you aware that you have an attorney representing you or not?
Nobody's talking to me about anything.
Okay.
Stephanie hesitated when the competent detectives requested for a DNA sample, sensing the gravity of the issue. She considered legal representation. The investigators arrested her after gathering enough evidence during this tense conversation, despite her brief cooperation.
Who else did hurt?
Right now you're hurting yourself.
I don't care about me.
Well,
who else did hurt?
There's no one else.
I keep hearing when people whisper, or whispers.
You keep hearing whispers? Okay. Well, what whispering do you hear?
No, tell me the truth.
Okay. There's no one else hurt. Okay. Everybody else is okay.
Kelly's dead.
Yes. Bill, let's not do this.
Take me back to jail.
Take you back to jail.
Take me back to jail.
Alright. Calm down, we'll take you back, okay?
Hey, look, why don't you sit up and hold your head up so all that the rest of your head, okay? Sit up for me.
Okay.
Down. There you go. Sit up for me, man. Sit up. You got all that blood rushing down to your head. You know better than that, okay? Relax.
Months later, the courtroom would host this twisted drama's finale. Stephanie Lazarus was tried for murdering Sherry Rasmussen. The verdict was damning. First-degree murder. After 2 decades of hiding her guilt, Stephanie was sentenced to 27 years. The end of a famous investigator who had escaped justice for too long began with this weird and unsettling interrogation room showdown.